The kids, while this is not an ideal situation, look as if they're being well taken care of under the circumstances. Governor Brewer and I spoke to a number of them ourselves.
Johnson toured the facility with Arizona Governor Jan Brewer. Since October, more than 50,000 children have crossed the U.S. southern border, most of them traveling alone. Senior Army officials say the Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl, recently released from captivity by the Taliban, has not yet been interviewed by the general who's been appointed to investigate his case. This is SRN News.
Now is the time for new flooring in your home because Lumber Liquidators has every floor on sale with the end of quarter clearance sale on right now. Get huge savings in all flooring like Quick Click pre-finished hardwood for $169 a square foot. Solid hand-scraped horizontal bamboo for $179. And this weekend only get 8mm cherry laminate for just 69 cents. So go to LumberLiquidators.com to find the store nearest you. Special 24-month financing is available. But hurry, this end of quarter clearance sale ends this Monday.
30,000 Christians are being tortured and starved in 4 North Korean concentration camps. According to the Voice of the Martyrs, conditions are so bad that virtually all these brothers and sisters will die in these camps. It's truly a modern-day Holocaust. Right now, join the Voice of the Martyrs to present millions of letters of support of these Christians to North Korea's United Nations delegation. Go to NorthKoreaHolocaust.com. In addition, you'll receive the Voice of the Martyrs free monthly newsletter to stay informed about global Christian persecution.
The government is considering whether to sue banks and other mortgage servicers to recover losses from alleged insurance kickbacks that may have cost Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac hundreds of millions of dollars.
The Federal Housing Finance Agency is responsible for guarding Fannie and Freddie's finances. The agency told its Inspector General's office it'll look at filing lawsuits and will make a formal decision over the next year. The Inspector General says Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac lost about $168 million from the fees in 2012 alone.
That's SRN's Jeremy House reporting. A North Carolina teenager who spoke out against gun violence has been killed in a gunfight between 2 rival gangs. The Fayetteville Observer reports 19-year-old Rayvon Jordan was shot in the head Sunday during a gunfight at a house party that was attended by dozens of teenagers. The police chief says the gang members fired at least 70 shots. This is SRN News. When it comes to the flu vaccine, a federal panel says a squirt up the nose is better than a shot in the arm, at least when it comes to young children.
The advisory panel agrees to tell doctors that FluMist nasal spray is a bit better at preventing flu in healthy young kids ages 2 through 8. Federal health officials usually adopt the panel's recommendations, asking doctors and patients to follow them. Although a pediatricians group says that FluMist is more expensive, and doctors have already ordered their vaccine for the fall flu season.
That's SRN's Rich Thomason. An independent advisory office has recommended that the House Ethics Committee investigate charges that a New York congressman threatened to throw a television reporter off a balcony. The bipartisan House panel has deferred action regarding Representative Michael Grimm. Grimm, you may recall, is already the subject of an FBI probe into his campaign finances. More details at srnnews.com. From Washington, I'm Linda Kenyon.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Have you heard the phrase, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? Well, let's talk about a guy who always stays in Vegas, Les Kincaid, and his great show, Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, Wines du Jour. Les broadcasts before a live audience each and every week and features 3 wines. When you're in Las Vegas, join him. Enjoy Les Kincaid and Wines du Jour, coming to you Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Flying high at 60,000 feet on the very cusp of outer space, he is strapped in and ready to dive bomb the pernicious peddlers of the pornographic politic. So run for cover. It's the Fred Dryer Radio Show. Incoming! And now, here is your host, Fred Dryer.
Thank you so very much. Great to be with you. Thank you for being with us. Another wonderful Wednesday here, and lots going on in the world of sports and around the world. With me here is my good friend Michael Horn.
Hi, Captain. How are you?
Pretty good. What'd you do this weekend, by the way?
This weekend, just kind of kicked back and took it kind of easy. Didn't do much. I've been traveling a little bit, so I kind of hung by the homestand. I watched a few baseball games on television. Watched the repeat of the Clayton Kershaw no-hitter for the Dodgers, and that's what I did. They show that one a lot on that Dodger channel. Whenever there's
the one that no one gets?
The one that no one gets. If you get it, you get to see Clayton Kershaw pitch a no-hitter all the time.
Yeah, he did a great job. And the other day, he came back and pitched 8 shutout innings against Kansas City.
Yes. Interesting. And Tim Lincecum, since we do this show, you hear it on the weekends and you hear it on the podcast, the show is done live Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific Time, 7 Eastern, and Tim Lincecum just pitched a no-hitter for the San Francisco Giants.
That guy cannot grow any facial hair whatsoever.
How is he, like 15 years old?
Like 4.
He looks like a little kid.
Yeah.
And he had all that hair coming out of his head, and then underneath his cap, and then he cut it off, and now it's starting to grow out again. And then he's got what I think is supposed to be a beard. Is that what they call that when it just sits there underneath your?
Well, he and Clayton Kershaw, by the way.
What is it with beards in sports?
They don't have a upper lip or a chin, and they don't grow it. If you have a beard and you have no mustache or goatee, what are you growing?
You must have the manly gene to grow the hair, and if you don't, you should just not try, right?
It looks like you have a disease. It looks like you have scabies. If you can't grow one.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, if you can't grow one, then don't grow one.
Well, you're a former NFL legend, a pro, a football player. It's like, come on, you don't have any kind of scruff on football players. You had a beard or you had some hair or you didn't, right?
Well, I had a beard in 1975.
You did?
Yeah. A beauty.
And it was a good one?
Yeah, you can look at it.
You got some pictures? Is it up online?
Probably. I don't know. 1975.
So a full beard you had, huh?
Big mustache.
1970. Oh, I remember the mustache. Yeah.
I had one. Anyway, and I decided to grow it.
Why?
Because I hadn't done it before. I hadn't committed to doing it. I always had weak growth or something like that.
Right.
And I wanted to see what it looked like if I had something.
Gotcha.
I'd never done it before, so I just grew it and kind of surprised me.
Surprised you?
Yeah, I had everything. I had everything you needed for a real good one.
Did you make like animal sounds when you look at yourself in the mirror, like?
No, not quite. But what I did was I got an idea of how you look with it and how you look without it, and get people's opinion. Most people said, please don't. You have to cut it.
Really?
Most people did. Many thought it was great, and I got tired of it after about a little over a year. I started screwing around with it. I cut it down to a goatee, and I let it grow out, and I cut the mustache down, and I did a lot of other different things. But when I see people when they're growing these things, their hair, football is one thing, but having your hair hang out on a baseball cap really looks bush.
It really looks bad.
And
having
really
a scraggly looking terrible beard looks terrible. How about those guys that have that ma and pa kettle beard that's like hanging down to their kneecaps?
Yeah, you got to fine them or let them play. Just let them.
We'll talk a little bit more about this when we come back straight ahead. It's the PM Show Weekend Edition with the one and only Fred Dryer on CRN.
Hi, folks. Fred Dryer for Regenix. Like so many people today, I was losing my hair. I was literally watching it fall out, jumping right off the top of my head. So I said, that's it, enough. I called Regenix. When they introduced me to their patented hair analysis program, I immediately saw why I was losing my hair. Through their microscopic examination, I saw gray, sickly scalp. The hair follicles themselves were caked and clogged with the dirty, oily sludge. I was so relieved. Finally, there was hope. So now, as I approach my 8th year on the Regenix program, my scalp is pink and clean and my hair is growing back. That's right, it's growing back. It makes so much sense. Don't wait. Call Regenix right now. Go to the phone and put an end to your worries. Start by calling 1-800-REGENIX. That's 1-800-REGENIX. Or go to Regenix.com.
PM Show Weekend Edition, CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn, but the star of our program is the one and only Sultan of Safeties. 2 safeties in one game, an outstanding NFL superstar, a legend in football, and also one of the great stars of television, motion pictures, stage, and now radio, the one and only Mr. Fred Dreyer.
Thank you so very much. Welcome back to the show. Hope your week has been good. We're at midweek here, and you'll be hearing us on the weekends. And we certainly hope that by the time you hear us on the weekends that you'll be enthralled with a great, relaxing weekend, and hope that we can add to that. Now, you look at this newspaper here with LeBron James is now opting out, and it's an interesting opt-out that he's told the Miami Heat that he's decided he's going to opt out and take a look around at other opportunities in the league, and here he is again. He opted out of Cleveland 4 years ago, and
exploring free agency
to take his talents to Miami Beach, and now he's been in Miami Beach, and he thought he would win 10 championships in a row with that group down there.
The awesome superstar team, and then they lose 4-1.
They just collapsed. You know. I don't see how these guys do it. After the season's over, they got to play another.
They got to play another season.
They got another season. So you do that a lot. By the end of your 10-year career, you played 12 and a half years.
That's exactly right.
Haven't you?
It's true.
And so they've just got to be completely burned out. I've never figured out how Kobe Bryant, decided at the off the season he's going to go over and play a winter ball someplace.
No, I don't go with it.
Why don't you just do nothing for like 2.5 months?
That's what you should do. Rest up. Now, here's the thing. See, the Miami Heat president, the old Pat Riley, he kind of threw a little metaphorical pass at LeBron James, and he put the ball in his court, and so then James threw it back. Riley urged the Heat players to stay together if you've got the guts. That was the quote. And then James countered by deciding on free agency, and in essence he said, show me how you're going to make the Heat a better team. So they're kind of at odds.
Yeah, that's right.
And so LeBron James is, he is, by saying what he's saying, how are you going to make the team better, he feels by becoming a free agent, he's sending a message to a couple of other players on Miami, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, that if the Heat want to improve, Wade and Bosh have to become free agents so the Heat can have some financial flexibility and get some roster additions that are meaningful.
So he's telling them, we want you to leave the team.
That's what he's saying.
Player option.
He's telling his fellow players, leave.
So they've got money. So they've got money,
right,
to go out and get some free agents to add and make a new dynamic on the team. He wants Bosh and Wade out.
Correct.
That's what he's saying.
That's exactly what he's saying, and so that's modern day basketball.
That's what it is. These guys only have a small opportunity in life, to make money and to do what they're going to do. And I've said this before, that I don't think the Lakers will win anything until Kobe's gone.
Well, but they're saying the Lakers could turn around if Kobe's healthy.
Of course they could.
But you don't think they'll really win everything?
They're not going to be.
Because
they'll win 45 games.
They can't get enough.
They'll win 45, 48 games next year, maybe. That's if Kobe is healthy. But Kobe's not going to play 46 minutes. He's going to play 38 minutes. And who else is going to play?
Well, he's certainly. Let's hope he's healthy, because he came back this past season and then got injuries again, and then he's out again.
Yeah.
He's worse than Chad Billingsley on the Dodgers. Well, no one's worse than that. Nobody. Chad Billingsley.
Darren Dreifert and Chad Billingsley.
They just got their money and they just sit there right now and watch the games.
Yeah.
one of the front row seats.
Yeah, I think Billingsley has had a special seat put in at the buffet table.
Didn't Billingsley have Tommy John surgery like 18 times now? Because he had it done once, and then his arm was getting better. Then there's always these setbacks, and now another setback.
The word was that he reached across the table for the potato salad.
Is that what it was?
And that's when his elbow gave way. He blew his arm out.
Lifting the potato salad?
He blew his arm out at the buffet table.
Passing the...
And of course, Lasorda was at the other end.
And he said, "I'll take that potato."
What the hell happened there? Billingsley! No, Bills! Are you kidding me? I've seen some things in my day, but I've never seen... Are you telling me you blew out your arm on the potato salad?
I love Tommy. Oh, I told you that story that I was at a restaurant one time, a very great restaurant, Napa Rose Restaurant, and they had appetizers. It was a pasta appetizer. The key word here is appetizer. And it was in a nice big bowl and like a little mound. It's about the size of a little, maybe 4-ounce or 6-ounce coffee cup turned upside down. And they handed it to Tommy. He just sort of stared at it for about 30 seconds. And then he finally says, "Hey, Mike, they call that pasta. Bring me 2 more of these." They can get enough pasta.
Wow. I'm watching the Dodger channel here.
I love Tommy.
Which is, as do I. And I watched, and they have a clip of Tommy, I guess it was just last summer.
Tommy Lasorda.
And he has his uniform on, no baseball cap.
Yeah.
There's something wrong about this image. Tommy is so huge.
He's gotten big again. He has been eating a lot.
This is really beyond anything. He's got a midriff now that is packed, and he's got that XXX, Sears basement husky.
When you and I were kids, is that not right? They used to. I got insulted once when I was a little heavy as a young boy, and the next door neighbor said, "Do you wear Huskies?" I mean, nobody wore Huskies. No, I didn't wear Huskies. Come on, I just wore the regular jeans, but they had Huskies for the larger style children.
Tommy has
got the
Husky uniform on.
Huskies.
And it's skin tight.
Do you wear Huskies?
Well, it's skin tight.
I'll give you your Husky.
And he's out there being as demonstrative as he can to make a point.
Right.
To these very young players, these thin, svelte, in-shape players, and they're kind of like with their arms standing with their arms folded, kind of looking at him. And you could just see the bubble over their head. Thinking about what's
going on here?
An 85-year-old guy, legend, and he's got boys Husky jersey, skin tight on. What do you think he's telling them?
I don't know, but he knows a lot. He's got a good baseball head about him. He really does.
Well, Tommy has a lot of what they call street smarts. Well, no, street smarts.
Yes, he does.
And he knows baseball. He has a lot of common sense.
A lot of good common sense.
And he applies it. And he throws the rule book out. He goes a lot by a gut instinct, and he manages that way. And he creates relationships and all those things.
Do you think he truly cares about a pitch count?
No,
Tommy.
No.
He's
Walter Alston didn't.
No, you just look at it and you say, you can tell when the guy's run out of gas, you got to bring somebody in. They start getting a few hits.
Koufax pitched 17 innings to 178 pitches in one game. He just left him out there. He didn't care. They went through pitchers, and Tommy did too. They went through pitchers like, I go through salmon.
Man. Something.
Don't put a salmon.
Don't put some salmon in front of Fred. Yeah. He'll go through that pretty quick. They do.
We've just been handed a teletype that just says Tim Lincecum tossed a second no-hitter against Padres.
Yeah, it's true.
I just realized that he shut them out last year. He no-hit them last year.
Did he no-hit the Padres again? I didn't realize against them. Against the Padres in less than a year. Well, he's got the Padres number down. They have a low batting average, though, don't they, the Padres?
Yeah, the whole league has a low batting. They got rid of steroids, and everybody hates baseball now.
PM Show, Weekend Edition with the one and only Fred Dreyer on CRN.
Let me take just a moment or two, if I may, and talk about a great place to eat. That's right, for you folks anywhere in the eastern San Fernando Valley, drop into Bob's Big Boys. That's right. In Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. Now, everybody remembers the name Bob's. They're getting bigger and bigger every day. And little old Bob carrying the hamburger in his checkered overalls is the same Bob that you remember from back through the years. And, of course, if you want to go in for a great lunch, remember their classic burger, the original double-deck hamburger combination. Delicious 100% pure ground beef in 2 patties with American cheese, lettuce, and our famous Big Boy special sauce. The name is Bob, and I think when you go in, you'll say, by golly, I'm sure glad that I found this restaurant because it's good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They've got all kinds of things, and all you have to do is remember. Bob's Big Boy in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. It's a great place to eat.
How deep in debt are you? $10,000? $15,000? Maybe even more? And every day that goes by, you know what happens. Your debt gets larger and larger and larger. Well, if you've had it with your mushrooming debt problem and the stress it is causing you, make this free call today to the Debt Solutions Network. One quick, no-obligation call is all it takes for one of our partner companies to show you how they can help you get out of debt. So if you have $10,000 or more in combined debt and you want to learn how you can solve it, make this free, no-obligation call now.
800-814-5108. 800-814-5108.
If you are in serious debt, you have to get out of it and fast. Call my friends at the Debt Solutions Network now.
800-814-5108. 800-814-5108. Call us 24/7. 800-814-5108.
If you can imagine the classic picture of Hawaii, the white sandy beaches, Diamond Head in the background, the gorgeous water, the Pacific Islands are the platinum place to go. There's 18 restaurants, a whole bunch of cocktail lounges. There's terrific entertainment. There's a luau that you cannot beat. They got the greatest dancing girls in the world. And, that's right. And, they got a place for the kids, Camp Penguin.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah, that always piques my interest. This is a terrific place. There's over 3,000 guest rooms in 7 towers. They just renovated the entrance, so when you check in, there's no more wait. Each line moves quicker than a jet, and before you know it, you're in your room looking at the gorgeous ocean, sipping on a Mai Tai. Try it. The Hilton Hawaiian Village, Waikiki Beach Resort.
Welcome back to the PM Show Weekend Edition. The one and only Fred Dreyer on CRN Digital Talk Radio, brought to you by our friends at Regenix. Get yourself a free hair analysis. Call the folks at Regenix, 1-800-REGENIX, or go to Regenix.com. That's REGENIX, Regenix.com, or 1-800-REGENIX. Once again, Fred Dreyer.
Thank you, Michael Horn. Now Carmelo Anthony has opted out. He's opted out from the New York Knicks. Well, we figured that. And,
yes.
His top 3 teams, Houston Rockets, Dallas Mavericks, Chicago Bulls. The Lakers are not on Anthony's list currently, but Kobe plans to recruit him to the team. So who knows what that means? I made this little comment. I don't think the Lakers will do anything until Kobe's gone. And what I really mean by that is that I don't think there's a lot of superstars who are looking to come to play with Kobe. I think that he is such a polarizing character, such a great individual player, that anybody that comes to the team serves him.
So don't they need to get people that can serve him and put a team together they can serve that way?
But these guys are stars in and of themselves.
Right.
And I don't think, LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony, or anybody else, Kevin Love for that matter, wants to come here and fall under the canopy of Kobe.
I agree with you.
I think they want to come and brand the team their own way, and not to be so much the focal point. But I don't see someone like LeBron James showing up in L.A. to say.
So you need a supporting cast.
Well, of course, yeah, you do. And that's why LeBron is suddenly decided to opt out of Miami, because he realizes his supporting cast isn't enough. Plus, it's worn out.
Correct. I think you need to be. That's why the good base basketball minds are able to build the team around what they have. So if you've got a Kobe Bryant that kind of is the guy that takes the shots all the time, and the team is built around him, then you need to get the supporting cast. When they had the great Laker teams, maybe all those other guys weren't tremendous, wonderful individual superstars, but together as a team, with a team sport, they gelled. And then your only problem is if your star goes down, as happened to the Lakers with Kobe, all of a sudden the team's not going to do very well. So,
this is the main. I think the main problem that Dwight Howard had last year when he was here, 2 years ago when he showed up here, was he didn't realize what it was like playing and being a teammate of Kobe's.
I agree.
Certainly, he didn't like the coach. Certainly, he didn't like a lot of the things that was going on. That's another conversation we could have. But he didn't like Kobe, and Kobe didn't particularly like him. And he didn't want to be second fiddle. He wanted to be the guy that ran down the field like Shaq, and they threw the ball into him.
Correct.
And he wanted to play the low post and do what he does. And Kobe didn't want to do that again.
And Shaq had problems in the beginning, kind of gelling with that, but then Shaq was able to take that little bit of a sidestep and still be the great player, but also he knew that Kobe Bryant was there. But there was always that little friction between those two at first, remember?
Yeah, and everybody, and it's a natural progression of the ego, is to try to, when you have the ball, you know, the whole gag was, if I throw the ball in, if Kobe has the ball and he's dribbling around, and he throws the ball into Shaq because Shaq is in position, is calling for it, and I throw it in there, that ball's not coming back out to me. And so there I am, you can get anybody to throw the ball into Shaq, is what I'm saying.
That's right.
So, yeah, I look at all this stuff as it doesn't make any difference who's on what team. For the most part, LeBron James will probably wind up going back to Miami, and he'll restructure some contracts, and all this is an opt-out so he can find out really what it is. If he likes it, then they can re-sign him and do a new 5-year deal. If he doesn't like it, then he can say, see you later, and go someplace else. And if I'm him, I'm going to Dallas or Chicago.
They say Houston would be a good fit for him.
Houston's a good fit, sure, but he has to certainly play with Dwight Howard and all these other guys, and so it's about, I don't know. I think most players seem to think that LeBron James is a better teammate than Kobe.
You think so?
I mean,
yeah.
It appears that way. And because I think he's more adjustable than Kobe is.
Yeah, Kobe definitely is.
Kobe will sit. We've all seen it. It's a correct criticism. Where the ball goes to Kobe and Kobe stands out there and yo-yos back and forth, and the entire team stops moving because they're just sitting around waiting for Kobe to shoot it up, and because they know that's what he's going to do.
Exactly.
Instead of passing it, moving it, and cutting to the basket, which is I think is the proper way to do it. But anyway, steroids is out of baseball, and I want to talk about that next.
When we come back, steroids out of baseball, really? We'll find out more from Fred Dreyer right here on CRN.
Attention, low T therapy male patients 75 years and younger. Recent reports link certain testosterone gels such as Androdel, Axiron, Foresta, Striant, Testim with serious complications and injuries. If you or a loved one suffered a heart attack, stroke, cardiac arrest, pulmonary embolism, DVT, or even death, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Time is limited to file a claim. For free information and a free consultation, act now.
Call 800-361-1476. That's 800-361-1476. 800-361-1476. Again, for free information and a free consultation, call 800-361-1476. 800-361-1476.
This is an advertisement, not valid in all states. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. iLawsuit.com is an advertising group that represents lawyers advertising their services and is a free matching service for consumers. It is not a law firm or lawyer referral service. If you have used the testosterone gel and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation.
Homeowners, now is the season to be thinking about your roof, because all it takes is one storm to turn a small roof problem into a major leak. If it's time for a new roof, call Sears at 888-465-9720. You can save $500 if you call right now. Sears licensed, fully insured contractors can get your roofing job done right. Just call 888-465-9720. Sears has a variety of shingles and styles that are built for long-lasting performance, and you'll save $500 if you call now. So call Sears for a free in-home consultation at 888-465-9720. Hurry, offer ends soon. Not available in all areas. Installation provided by Sears authorized licensed contractors. License information available upon request. That's Sears Roofing. Call right now and save $500. Call 888-465-9720. 888-465-9720. Call Sears now and get that roof repaired. Call 888-465-9720.
I owe over $10,000 to the IRS. I don't have the money, and now my wages are being garnished.
You need tax representation.
I'm really worried. The IRS just sent me a letter and they want to audit my business.
You need tax representation.
But who can I trust?
Tax Representation Incorporated. It's a fact that if you owe taxes, the IRS has the power to take everything you own, including your home, your business, and even your freedom. If you receive a letter from the IRS, don't ignore it. Call Tax Representation Incorporated, and we'll be on the phone with the IRS to stop the threats within the same day. Guaranteed. Don't ignore it. If you're being audited or have years of unfiled tax returns, a federal tax lien, or worse yet, been issued a wage garnishment or bank levy, let the expert staff of tax attorneys and enrolled agents protect you from the IRS and get you the best tax representation and settlement guaranteed. We'll be on the phone with the IRS to stop the threats same day, guaranteed. Call 800-574-3001. 800-574-3001. 800-574-3001. 800-574-3001.
So what brought you in today?
Well, Doctor, whenever I get excited, I yodel.
Interesting. So if I said, Kmart and Sears are giving Shop Your Way members up to $20 in surprise points. Wow. And if I were to say surprise points can be used on qualifying purchases both in-store or online. And the points are only valid until June 18th? Amazing.
I know. I'm not even Swiss.
Amount of points awarded based on membership status and other factors. See shopyourway.com for details.
Nothing says I love you, I'm thinking about you, or I miss you, like a beautiful bouquet of fresh flowers from ProFlowers.com. Flowers are a festive way to dress up a birthday, holiday, or anniversary. Plus, prices start at $19.99 and include a free vase. Every bouquet is guaranteed to last at least 7 days. To send a thoughtful bouquet, go to proflowers.com/radio. And to receive this special offer, enter code DAISY. That's proflowers.com/radio, code DAISY.
Fight on, till you have won, sons of Washington.
Welcome back here to the PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn, the one and only star of motion pictures and television, and just his show Crisis just finished up here on NBC this season, and of course the NFL legend, Mr. Fred Dreyer. We have Redskin news for you.
Well, I just wanted to come back with that song because I really like it.
Well, here's the latest. Apparently, the National Congress of American Indians has sent a letter to the FedEx CEO, Frederick W. Smith, asking for his help to change the Washington's NFL team's name. They're not even saying the R name, Redskins. The letter came 1 week after that federal trademark we talked about last week on the show ruled that Redskins is a disparaging to American Indians. And the company statement on Tuesday said that FedEx has a long-standing contractual commitment to naming rights at FedEx Field, where the Redskins play, and questions about the team name should be directed to the team. FedEx is smart in saying that. And so I thought if they changed the name from the Washington Redskins, I was thinking of this since last week's show. How about the Washington Injuns? Would that be good? The Washington Injuns? Do you like that? Or how about the Washington Firewaters? Because, you drink fire water, the Indians used to get crazy. Or the Washington Scalpers, which would help in their ticket sales. What do you think of those names?
Washington Prairie Alcoholics.
So maybe they want to keep Redskins, and I think it's fine. And
well, what they should do, Dan Snyder should do, is say, you know something? Here's a list of all of the names we have decided to consider.
Yeah.
And none of them is as good as Redskins.
No. I like Redskins.
So we've decided to rename our team the Washington Redskins.
Yes, we can and apply for another copyright. That's trademark. That's good.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, now let's get back to baseball because you wanted to talk a little bit about steroids, and they're gone for all intents and purposes from baseball.
Well, they cleaned up baseball, and when they did, America left.
So baseball is cleaned up now. There's not those guys with those big arms and those huge necks, those size 21 necks.
No, these guys didn't have that. But
big heads.
But look, baseball is boring right now, and there's no getting around it. And you've got pitchers dominating the lineups.
Got no hitters again, right?
Nobody hitting baseballs out of the park. You go right down the list. There's maybe 5 guys who have 20 home runs right now, and I think the home run derby that we expect every year is
the All-Star
zero.
game.
Yeah, it's 0.
It's going to be tough, huh?
Underhanding. That's the great selling point of the league now. Underhanding pitching will give you a bunch of home runs. Yeah. Here, hit this one, Bill, and then he hits 27 home runs. Yay!
So a nice
and he
slow
wins an award. Who cares?
Yeah.
But I've always believed that you should be able to show up every year, fulfill your contract, and these baseball guys who were on steroids.
Yes.
They didn't have history of being on the DL.
That's true, wasn't it?
That's right.
Because they were strong with the steroids.
Yeah, that's right.
Interesting thought.
Yeah, they weren't on the DL. They would go out there and they would work out and they'd take their steroids and they'd show up and they'd be hitting baseballs into the ocean. And
in San Francisco, or maybe in the ocean,
or
in Texas.
any whatever. But I've always thought that a player should be able to have at his disposal things that would make him perform his job as best as he possibly could. Now, steroids themselves are illegal, so you don't want to break the law. And you should be able to register your testosterone levels every year with the league. And so the league could see how your testosterone levels vary, because they do. It's a moving pattern. So a 20-year-old, what's his name, Mike Trout, his hormone levels are up higher than Albert Pujols' are.
Gotcha.
And so you can actually look at that and say, oh, gee whiz, my hormone levels are down, and it has a direct effect on me. So why can't I take supplementation? Legal,
bring your hormone level up
under doctor's care, supplementation, and hormone therapy replacement, and you can always decide on what model of treatment to use, because there's several. But you can bring back your hormone levels to when you were like 25 years of age again. And I think that's the honest way of doing it, because at my age, I'm on a hormone therapy at my age right now.
You are.
I am, and have been for a little while, and I experiment with it up and down, and it makes all the difference in the world. And
what kind of difference? What do you mean?
Well, look. Everything is tied to your hormones. It's a moving pattern. It's a 24-hour pattern. That's why when you go and get a hormone test and get a blood workup, and they're going to check my hormone levels, and they call you back in a couple of days and say, I got a great lab, and the great lab said that you're great. You're 70 years old, and this is right where you should be. Yeah, for 70, but I want to be like I was when I was 40.
Right.
So how do I do that? He goes, well, you have to take injections and take steroids or take testosterone and stuff, but we got to figure out how to do that. So you take what is called a saliva test, which allows you, I want to finish this, which allows you to have a reading over a 24-hour period. Every 4 hours you take a saliva test.
Okay.
So then you find out what the moving pattern is. In the morning you've got high cortisol levels, high inflammation. At nighttime it flattens out. During the daytime, your hormone levels are kind of flat, and then in the morning they're up. So you can control that. And you can put everything into order and put everything into hormonal balance, which gives you an opportunity to perform better if you're an athlete, and to think better if you're in your job, and have a better life. Well, I'll get into more of it as we go on here, but it's a very important thing, and I think sports should get hip to this thing.
Email Fred Dreyer here at crnincoming@crni.net.
Geico presents Fan Mail to a Pig.
Dear Maxwell, first off, I really enjoy your commercials about Geico's app. I watch them over and over and over. They make me both laugh and very hungry. Weird. Anyway, I just want to let you know how Geico's new claim status updates on the app really blow me away. Getting those updates makes me think of you. I'd like to thank you in person. Just send me your address. All the best, Big Bad W. Sure thing, Big Bad W. I got a pen. It's 802 Not Gonna Happen Lane.
Claim status updates just a tap away on the Geico app.
Want to know the secret to success, kid? One thing, the Grainger catalog. And Grainger.com. Okay, that's 2 things. Oh, and Grainger's got mobile apps. Those sure are convenient. 3 things to succeed. Hey, and 1-800-GRAINGER. I know that number by heart. 4 things. There's hundreds of branches, too. Like I said, the one secret to keep this place running smoothly is Grainger. Get it? Got it? Good. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is a referral service. Calls will be routed to an independent referral insurance agency.
Listen up, America!
Listen up, America. I'm talking to anyone with or without a pre-existing medical condition. A health insurance hotline has now been established to provide health insurance for all Americans, even uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Call now for a free, no-obligation quote on affordable health plans available to you. 1-800-402-7599. I repeat, this is a hotline providing free quotes for affordable health plans. It's for anyone without health insurance, even if you have pre-existing conditions. Medical costs are the #1 cause of bankruptcy and financial distress. All uninsured Americans are strongly urged to call this national health insurance hotline right away to protect yourself and your family from an unexpected variety of medical costs that could cause financial hardship. Call the health insurance hotline right now for a free quote at 1-800-402-7599. That's 1-800-402-7599. Call 1-800-402-7599.
PM show, nationwide, coast to coast, CRN Digital Talk Radio. Star of our program, Felton of Safety's NFL legend and acting superstar, Mr. Fred Dreyer.
Now, listen, we're talking about this hormone stuff, and I'm trying to frame it out. I don't want to be long-winded, but I do want to focus in on a premise that I think is legitimate and that doesn't rattle, the fundamentals of the sport of baseball or any other sport. We're talking about baseball, and that is the health of its players, and also the reality that athletes get old within their contract and their performance. And I'm using the analogy of Mike Trout being a young 23. Was he 23 years old, something like that?
Yeah, I think he's around 23, 24.
And he's at the top of his game, and as they say, he'll peak. He hasn't peaked yet, and then he'll flatten out a little bit, and then he's going to go down. And so as he's going down, shouldn't there be a thing for him that helps him go back in time to when he's 23, 25, 26 years of age? And so you have older players now who are 27 or 30, 33, 35, 36 years of age playing, and it's only through nutrition, hormonal nutrition and balance, can you recapture that coordination and that muscle twitch and that eyesight and that hand-eye coordination and really feel as though that you're going to squeeze out as much productivity in your old athletic age as you possibly can, because by the time you're old, you're 40 years old, 42, 44, you're still a young man, you have life ahead of you. And so why would you wait till you're out of baseball, to address a hormone level?
Right.
And so there's ways of doing it, and like I said, one of the ways I've done it, I've addressed it over the years was, and I wish I would have known about this when I was playing, because I'd have done it.
So you did not do hormones when you were playing?
No, I didn't, because they didn't have the saliva test at that time. There was guys that I knew and were taking steroids and stuff, and I took Dianabol and Maxabolin when I was a young kid. 18, 19 years of age, because I wanted to experiment with it. I wanted to see what was going on with it, And what's going on?
Nothing. He's put another pick. Go ahead.
The element is that we're always looking at the fact that we're older tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and you're progressively getting worse. Plus with injuries. And being stale. I go to the Dodger game and I watch batting practice, and I'll sit up in the stands 3 hours before the game and just watch it all kind of start to unfold. And I got to tell you, I've seen more standing around at halftime in the Laker bathroom than I have I've never seen anything like this before in my life.
Really?
These guys are notorious. You know what they do? The visiting teams come out
and do their batting practice first.
Yeah, but while the Dodgers are finishing up batting practice, the visiting team comes out, and on the side, between home and first base and down the right field line, everybody gets together with a trainer, a leader, and they do hopscotch, skipping, raising their legs up
to stretch them out.
Yeah, to really get in shape, to loosen up for the game. I don't see one person, I'm telling you, I don't see one baseball player running from right field to center field.
The old Dodger teams used to do that.
I don't see anybody running.
Nobody runs.
I don't see anybody breaking a sweat. I don't see anybody doing anything, and you're not going to tell me that they get there 3-4 hours before the game
and do all that,
because they don't. They go in there and hit the buffet and play cards,
right?
And then they get get their stuff on, and they go out there and hit batting practice, and fall asleep in the bullpen, and so what happens is that when they're time to play, they're not mentally sharp.
They're lethargic.
They're lazy. They're falling asleep, half these guys, and. The romance of playing 162 games, has just put these guys to sleep.
But the fault of that is the management, the coaching team of not, we talked about Beards has tied it all up together. I mean, you look at the Yankee teams, consistently they play pretty well, don't they? They have policies. No facial hair, no beards. You're going to see clean-cut looking guys on the Yankees. Now, if they can have that rule, why can't the rest of the teams have that rule instead of having Ma and Pa Kettle beards hanging down to your knees, sitting there, J.P. Howell on the Dodgers and that thing, and that Wilson reliever over there has got air coming out of every orifice he knows.
Well, let's put it in perspective. The Red Sox everybody had a beard, and they won the World Series, and they killed everybody last year. So I want to remove that element. But what I'm talking about is that and they're mediocre this year. So what I want to address is that there are elements in Major League Baseball that a player has to face the fact that he's getting older, and there's ways of helping him out hormonally, which is the problem. That's the problem with these guys. You're not, believe me, I can speak from experience. You're not what you are when you're 22 years of age coming into the league, when you're 36 going out. You make the most of what you can possibly make, and then that's it. Your window's closed, and they say, "See you later. We got someone else that's going to wear your uniform now," and so. So there's ways of getting hormonal treatment to these people and not having it break laws, and it's something they should look into. And anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Fred Dreyer. We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. Fred Dreyer for Regenix. Like so many people today, I was losing my hair. I was literally watching it fall out, jumping right off the top of my head. So I said, that's it, enough. I called Regenix. When they introduced me to their patented hair analysis program, I immediately saw why I was losing my hair. Through their microscopic examination, I saw gray, sickly scalp. The hair follicles themselves were caked and clogged with the dirty, oily sludge. I was so relieved. Finally, there was hope. So now, as I approach my 8th year on the Regenix program, my scalp is pink and clean and my hair is growing back. That's right, it's growing back. It makes so much sense. Don't wait. Call Regenix right now. Go to the phone and put an end to your worries. Start by calling 1-800-REGENIX. That's 1-800-REGENIX. Or go to Regenix.com.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
Have you ever considered adding a home security system but thought it would be too expensive? Here's the good news. There's never been a more affordable time to help protect your home, valuables, and your loved ones. You can now get a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer, with the installation of a new ADT monitored system. Here's even better news. Your new system, worth $850, is free. You pay just a $99 installation charge and purchase monthly monitoring for less than $2 a day. Call Protect Your Home today at 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. Get the peace of mind that comes with owning an ADT monitored system, plus a $100 Visa card from Protect Your Home. Call now, 1-866-669-8954. That's 1-866-669-8954. 36-month monitoring contract required. General terms and conditions apply. Visit protectyourhome.com/terms.
It's the PM Show Weekend Edition with the one and only Fred Dreyer, brought to you by Regenix. Don't forget, get a free hair analysis. Call our friends at Regenix, 1-800-REGENIX, 1-800-REGENIX, or go to Regenix.com. That's REGENIX.com. Star of our show, the one and only Mr. Fred Dreyer.
Thank you so much. You know, this, I can say, this hormonal thing, it's so important for people getting older, no matter if you're playing baseball or not. But if you've got aches and pains and you're 45, 50 years of age, you should get a saliva test and do it correctly. You can go to Saber Sciences, which is down in down south here in Capistrano, and have them send you a kit, a saliva kit.
You could contact. They could send it anywhere around the country.
They'll send it to you anywhere around the world, and do that for yourself. And I see these guys, baseball players, all the time. And there's a lot of them whose systems are so acidic. They're big tobacco users and alcohol users. Not alcoholics, but some of them are. But they don't know that their hormone levels could be way out of whack, and that's all the difference in the world for people, especially when you're working at a sport like that. And so it's very important that you consider all these things. The league should be welcoming anything that would help players be better.
I agree.
Anybody that signs a big contract, if I'm an owner, I've said this before, if I'm an owner, I want my players to come to me and say, listen, I'm taking over-the-counter stuff to help me be better, and I'm under a doctor's care for my hormones. I found my hormone levels are out of whack, and I want to get overall good nutrition and overall health. And I would encourage that. I would go to the league with those guys if I were an owner and say, listen, I'm gonna stick up for my players. I want these guys to be tested. So a lot of these guys are completely chemically out of balance, and they always get hurt. They always pull something. There's always something going on with these guys, and their whole career ahead of them, and they don't realize that their hormone levels may be way out of whack.
You know, we lost Tony Gwynn this past week, and the Washington Nationals pitcher Steven Strasburg played for Tony Gwynn at San Diego State, and he says Steven Strasburg is going to quit smokeless tobacco after Tony Gwynn's death.
Yeah, they should. I mean, I knew guys who dipped terribly. Rich Saul, who was a center for the Rams when I was there, he passed away a couple of years ago, and a leukemia, and it was I believe it was brought on by a high degree of toxicity over a long period of time, and you can't eat that much tobacco and put that much poison in your system, certainly in your mucous membranes in your mouth cavity, and not have it affect you. You just can't do it.
What about the NFL agreeing to remove the $675 million cap on damages from thousands of those concussion-related claims?
Well, I saw that, and that's fine. Take the cap off. But it was interesting, and there's a byline to that. They also overturned this request by the league to say, we're going to give you this money, but we're also going to have you sign off on not suing us for any other concussions that you might get from
football.
So
there was a catch too. We'll talk about that next week on the show.
But the point was that these people, they don't care about you. They really don't.
Hey, follow Fred Dryer on Twitter, Fred_Dryer DRYER, Facebook.com/The Real Fred Dryer, and email him incoming@crni.net. Check it all out there at crntalk.com, our website.
Folks, thanks so much, as always, for joining us. Times just fly by when we're together. We really enjoy it. Thank you so much.
CRN Digital Talk Radio prides itself on being the station of every situation. And you can listen to us on nearly any platform and device. Download to your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry episodes of What's Cookin'. And take Master Sommelier Michael Jordan with you to the wine shop so he can help you pick out that perfect bottle of wine. Stream episodes of the Sonoma Wine Report through our CRN app, TuneIn Radio, Nobex, Stitcher, UTunes, or AHA Radio. And start planning that unforgettable weekend in the wine country. They're in your corner on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and many other apps. And of course, you can always listen live through your local cable TV provider, as well as on our website at crntalk.com. For more information on where to listen to these great shows, along with many others, log on to crntalk.com and create your own listening experience today.
The radio channel. The radio channel. CRN.
With SRN News, I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson made his first official visit to the Arizona facility holding hundreds of mostly Central American children who were caught crossing the border illegally. He later told reporters that contrary to what many people are saying, migrant children are not being pushed out into U.S. communities to fend for themselves.
To deal with the flow and to process these kids, we've had to bring some of them to this processing center in Arizona. Once they come here, they go to Health and Human Services. They are not released to the street in Arizona.
Since October, some 52,000 children from Central America have illegally crossed the border into the United States, most of them without an adult. Also at srnnews.com, Secretary of State John Kerry says all groups in Iraq, Shiites, Sunnis, and Kurds, need to be involved in governing the country.
Succeeding in this fight is going to require Iraqis to come together, finally, in order to form an inclusive government.
Kerry is warning Mideast nations against taking new military action in Iraq that might heighten already tense sectarian divisions in the violent Sunni insurgency. Israeli President Shimon Peres says Arab countries should take the lead in resolving the crisis in Iraq.
I told the president that the best thing